And then I'm going to post a Twitter. Whiskey, MMOs and More. I know how to use some social media.
Don't embarrass us.
We are a lover of MMOs, and we wanted to share that love with all you guys. So we're going to do some talking about MMOs, give you our impressions and our opinions and discussion. And we welcome anybody in chat who wants to give us some stuff, as well as if you watch us on YouTube or any other past social media. Please post something in the the chat areas, and we'll get back to you. So yeah, how's everyone doing tonight?
Can't complain. Sorry we're late.
Yeah.
Right.
Technical
Cheers.
issues galore.
Oh yeah.
Cheers to
cheers everyone.
Slash issue gap.
Click. I went out and specialty bought a monkey shoulder for this episode, so I'm pretty good now.
I never heard of that brand, but the description sounded pretty good.
Well, I saw it at Total Wine one time. I was looking for it's a blended malt Scotch whiskey, and someone mentioned I might have read somewhere it was like a pretty good. So I got it. That was good. It was decent. All right, we are going to talk about some MMOs. So we have a little bit of an agenda. So we want to talk about a big MMO, and so I threw down on today's agenda. Because apparently the Star Wars The Old Republic patch 6.1 Pinnacles of Power went live.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, Solomon, are you still playing the game?
Yeah.
Or not?
No, I am.
So I know they were a little late in their update, or at least their expansion, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the first update after their expansion?
I think it's their second.
Second one? Okay. Well, I'm curious. I mean, I knowing the problems that WoW has had with Battle for Azeroth, how's it going with the expansion in SWTOR with regards to this new thing? What's it called? Onslaught, I think it was?
Yeah, Onslaught, yeah. This is something I actually covered in one of my episodes I uploaded, analyzing how well Star Wars The Old Republic aged over the years.
Right.
And there's actually been there's been a noticeable decrease in quality and quantity. Sometime after Star Wars The Eternal Throne, which was about 2-3 years ago. And they're still releasing content, but to call it Onslaught is an expansion is what's the word am I looking for? It's not even. It was just an update. It wasn't even an expansion.
Really? Okay. So
like if you could complete it in 3 hours, I would hardly call that an expansion. And 6.1 is no exception. Like it progresses the story a little bit, but overall you could complete the entire 6.1 update in an hour or two.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the games where I played from the beginning, but I stopped playing it, and I gave it up for WoW Classic and now retail.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to have only one current subscription. So even though I'm a big Star Wars fan, as you can tell behind me, but I didn't.
Yeah, apparently not that big of a Star Wars fan then.
Apparently not. My biggest issue has always been the graphics.
Oh,
the game was fun, but the graphics always got to me.
Wait, but you play WoW Classic though.
I know. That was memory nostalgia trip.
Okay, fair enough.
Star Wars Old Republic. I just that's why playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Now that's better graphics, even though there's some issues with the Wookiees and how they look, and I get that they don't look all that hairy.
Right.
Look like matted fur of some sort. So that's
a matte.
But yeah. See, I was just curious if the Star Wars, if it's following the same pathway as WoW was doing, or if it actually is achieving something better than. I know that people have applauded BioWare, at least for ZeniMax Online, for doing a good job with this. Not saying that's ESO, never mind. BioWare itself doing a good job with SWTOR. Oh, I get all confused now.
ZeniMax is ESO.
BioWare, ZeniMax and Bethesda, sorry.
Yeah.
BioWare has done a pretty good job with SWTOR, and people have praised it, and it's still around for, what, 10 years now?
It came out in 2011.
2011. We're almost 10 years on that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Star Trek Online is older, but
Yeah.
we're not going to go there. But Star Wars, Old Republic, still there, and it's doing pretty good. So,
well, it made $1 billion in almost $1 billion in revenue since its lifetime. So I think EA is definitely going to keep it around, but gone are the days are the giant expansions where everything is voiced to dialogue. Because even with Knights of the Eternal Throne and Knights of the Fallen Empire, you'd get segments of the game where there are no voiced dialogue. It's just a text that you have to read. Yeah, like in an old Fallout 3 game, and that's like.
Okay.
The game is known to have known for voicing virtually every single NPC, but I guess they had to cut corners because they just don't have enough cash to voice every single dialogue.
I mean, that was one of the selling points for SWTOR.
Right.
900 people or 900 voice actors or voice dialogue pieces. Not only voice actors, but pieces in the game.
Right. Yeah. So they stopped doing that. I mean, they still do, but it's no longer every single part of it. It's just some parts of it now.
All right. So, Jazio, do you have any opinion on this, or are you just passing this time?
Well, I mean, I have seen one other streamer playing it, and it looked good. I'm a huge Star Wars and Star Trek fan, so I'm kind of hated by both for loving the other. As far as that goes, but as far as the game goes, I mean, that was one of the points that I did love about the game. Like we were just mentioning, World of Warcraft has very few spoken lines in the questing process, and it does kind of cause some of the storylines to lose a little bit of investment into them for me. Because of that. I do feel like when I did play through Star Wars The Old Republic, that I felt a lot more invested in the storylines because they were acted, and it was pretty good too. It wasn't like being phoned in by some poor guy that got paid $20 in a Subway sandwich.
Right.
It was pretty good, and the storylines were enjoyable. I haven't played it since the last major patch. It's been a spell, but I am tempted to give it a go. But the problem is, I'm like you, Kenneth, and I already have like this huge backlog of games I'm wanting to check out, and unfortunately, Star Wars: The Old Republic is kind of on behind, and not only that, but there's new stuff. One of the games I think it was on our list of things to talk about later is going to get in the way of that too. It's going to push it even further back. So I'll get to it eventually, but right now, it's kind of a pass. But that's my 2 cents for now.
Well, I know John O'Streams used to do a lot of SWTOR.
Oh yeah,
but he's been more into, I think, WoW and something else right now. I'm sure. And I'm looking at right now on Twitch itself. There's only 433 viewers right now watching SWTORs, and
that's it.
That's actually pretty good for.
There's a bunch of streamers themselves, a lot of streamers, but only 433 actual viewers. So
that's, in my opinion, that's actually pretty good for a fairly older game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, considering that fact that you have, let's say, World of Warcraft currently has
like 20,000.
How's that going now? Oh, come on. 18,000.
18,000, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was just curious because we're talking about a big MMO, and I was thinking like that was the one that came on my radar, especially seeing that the patch 6.1 came out. Okay, so yeah. All right, now we're gonna delve into some smaller MMO news. After all, we only have 1 hour, and so we're trying to keep ourselves contained. If you want to read or listen, there's a lot of great podcasts out there on MMOs and whatnot, whether it's Massive EOP or MMORPG.com. But this one is
or Whiskey and RPGs podcast.
Or Whiskey RPGs podcast, which, by the way, Solomon, I really love your content. You're very crisp, and you put there what I need to hear, want to know, and that's really cool. I've been learning some stuff, so yeah.
I appreciate that.
Great
Thank
point. You. Amazon has a studio, and they're coming out with a game called New World,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks pretty cool. And I wanted to talk about the fact that they had this controversy. Last week we had the controversy about Camelot and Chain and all that's going on. And by the way, I'll do an update in a little bit when I heard from some folks with that. But New World was promising, I think, PvP, and then backed off a bit, or vice versa. But yeah, it looks really cool. I'm probably going to play it. So Jazia, what do you think? Is it on your radar?
It's been on my radar, and I've been keeping up with pretty much everything that's came out, and they have made some really big changes addressing a lot of the complaints.
Okay.
Especially with regards to how PvP works. And I am thoroughly happy. I am very much looking forward to playing the game. The only thing that, well, there's a couple things, but the one major thing that has me a little bit concerned about its longevity is they've stated that there are going to be no instanced zones, and just meaning no dungeons, no raids. Everything's going to be in the world content.
Oh, I actually like that.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I actually think that's awesome.
and I hear a lot more people saying that's awesome. So
because
maybe it will be good, but the PvP initially, it was going to be all out like PvP. There's no opt out on it. You just were PvP mode everywhere you went. They have changed that now, where it's opt in. You can get the full game experience with or without it. And there are two different types of PvP. You can do either the I can't remember what they're called now, but it's kind of a 50 versus 50 mode, where
that's awesome.
If you're wanting to take over a territory, or someone's wanting to take your territory over, it'll do a little announcement and invite, it'll be a 50 versus 50. And if they win or you win, then you have some land grabs that get exchanged, that's pretty cool, and reminds me a lot of, like you said, Dark Age of Camelot, I should say, way back in the day, and other games that came out that were of that ilk since then. I really like that. And there's also going to be world PvP, where you can set your PvP and go to your heart's content against other factions. But I do applaud them that they're listening. They seem to be, at least right now, listening to the consumers, of those of us who are going to be purchasing the game and making changes. And that was something that people were pretty unhappy about. The way that sounded was you weren't going to get to enjoy the quest because you're going to be too busy fighting other people.
Yeah, because if I recall, they first announced this game and everyone was like, yes, 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 and then they did like, okay, now they did an update, and like people were like, whoa, what? Now you're backing off what you promised, and then now they're listening, going, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, we did back off, but we're making some changes because when it comes to final game, we're going to have to be something in between, I guess. Was that a good assessment?
It's a pretty good assessment. Yeah, for those who want to, be really involved in PvP, that is going to be an option there for you. And for those of us who are like myself, who would rather do it on our terms, I would absolutely love to do the 50 versus 50 and try to grab other people's land for resources and defend our own lands that we have. Whenever I have the time and feel up to doing PvP, and the rest of the time I'll go out and experience the world in a PvE with all my friends that are playing, without having to worry about getting ganked by somebody that's bored while I'm trying to do it. So I applaud it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to buy the deluxe version, but because I don't think the perks are that great.
Have you pre-ordered yet?
I have not pre-ordered. As I've been saying with Shadowlands and a couple of the other games we've talked about, I am pretty burnt on doing pre-orders of anything anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
Unfortunately, unless it's like a friend or something like that I'm like, okay, I'll support that, then then maybe. But these companies, I mean, and Amazon they've got plenty of money. The game's going to get released, unlike
they have money.
Star
What?
Citizen. But, yeah.
Well, Solomon, about you? Are you this on your radar for a game to play?
Oh yeah. Actually, Amazon Game Studios released a dev blog. I think today or yesterday. It's just 3 minutes long, and they're talking about the different factions that inhabit the island. But yeah, I guess I'll just go on just to kill time.
He's
So,
back.
what did they say? Oh yeah, so they released new information about the game. There's different factions. They told you about two kinds. There's one that's like, okay, so first of all, in the lore, you can't die. Like, your soul is like trapped on the island and you cannot die, right? And so you have two factions. There's like this one that's like kind of like Mayan, for lack of a better word, and very in tune to the earth, and just really into nature. And you have another faction that's like very zombie-like, and because like I said, you can't die. Like their souls reside in like these corpses, like these zombie-like corpses, right? And what else did they talk about? They talked about the different ways that you could build your settlements, and then telling you that you have to protect them, and some other players might try to take it. If other players don't try to take it, then the other two factions that I just mentioned will try to take it and stuff like that. So yeah, they the dev blog, it was just very brief, but I think they did a pretty good job in showcasing some of the amazing graphics.
So I see it comes out May 26th.
Yep.
Looks like. So I'm taking it then you're playing it day one?
I plan to, because I mean, I think it'd be tremendous. See, I don't
commit to that then.
I don't
all to get together,
right?
Do it together, right?
Like, I don't always want this to be just my channel thing, but it's like that's where my mind goes. It's like, what could I cover to help grow my channel? Like, what's the new? And usually it's like the newest thing that really gravitates a lot of viewers, and so that's why I really want to check it out. Not because I'm just an MMO fan, but because I really would like to provide content for my YouTube and Twitch audiences.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, I'm thinking selfishly, I'd like to play with you too, because it's like it's always more fun, I think, to play a game with other people than alone.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right.
I don't hear Jaziel. Is he?
You there, Sir Jaziel?
Whoa.
When I hear him,
I'm here.
I don't see you, but okay, but
all
right. So
it's weird.
So we're gonna move on to the next thing, right? So I want to give you a brief update on Camelot Unchained. We mentioned it last week. I was listening to the Massively OP podcast, and they mentioned that Mark Jacobs, apparently his caring about the community is so great. Apparently, he has taken it so personal, the things like accusing him of doing different things, bait and switch, or accusing things like. Apparently, they said that when he was live streaming, he was like a bridge of tears because how much he cares about things. He literally started showing them, okay, look, you guys don't know about Camelot Unchained. He showed them, okay. He got people into the game. He got people to play the game, to do like a stress test with bots as well as for the game itself, and showing stuff. People like, look, we're not just putting our money into this other game called Gladiator, right? Like, which is going to help us make some money, but we are still doing Camelot Unchained. So people were upset, but Mark Jacobs has been a community guy. He wants to do the right thing. It makes me feel better about my Kickstarter, even though I never had a problem with them making the new game. So it's moving along. So it's pretty good. So I'm curious, Solomon, if you have a note of a game we should talk about that you may have. I know you have your wonderful show, Whiskey and RPGs. I was wondering if there's a MMO out there that we should be thinking about or considering.
Yeah, there's a new. It's not a specific MMO, but it's a new type of MMO called roguelite or roguelite. Yeah, and there's certain characteristics of these type of RPGs that make it differ from other RPGs. One of them that I found really interesting is permadeath. And these type of MMOs actually have been popping up on Steam in early access a lot more frequently these past 6 months, if I were to guess. And yeah, it's like I've never played one before. I never even heard of this term until, say, like a few months ago. And I think it's something that we probably should look into more, because I think they're going to get a lot of traction if I had to give a prediction. But
do you have a game name of one that might be to look at?
Yeah, I did, but I totally forgot it. Hang on,
That's fair enough.
let me bring it up.
I was just curious. I see that MMORPG has an article about permadeath and semi-permadeath in MMOs, but I don't see necessarily. It's just a forum post. I don't see actual names of a game.
There was one that went into early access actually at the beginning of this week, but I'm blanking out on it. I covered it in my episode too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So for those who haven't watched his MMO, his whiskey and RPGs on YouTube, you should. Really good information, a lot of good stuff. He did talk about this, and I forgot about it. So.
But yeah, so I mean, I know in our last whiskey MMOs and more, we talked about sort of where the industry is going, how it's shifting, where how it's morphing in a sense, and I think this is another way that MMOs are branching off into another subgenre of games. So again, they're called roguelike RPGs or Where's it, roguelite? No, it's roguelite.
Yeah, I think it's roguelite.
Yeah.
Not roguelike. Oh yeah. All right. Saziel, you still there?
I'm here.
All right. Is there any particular game or thing you want to talk about before we get to the next topic?
Nah.
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 All right, we're gonna move to the next topic then. Okay, so this is I thought would be an interesting discussion. Okay, so I was watching Solomon XK, and he was showing about the fact that, of course, today is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there.
Yay!
also known as the Single Awareness Day.
Sad day.
Mm-hmm.
Sad, but yeah.
Sorry, real quick. Hey, Hype the Husky, thank you for the host, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Hype's on your channel?
Yeah, my favorite doggo.
Yeah, he was doing Overwatch. I was like, wait a minute, I need to go watch Hype. He's doing Overwatch. I don't think I've ever seen him ever play Overwatch. I'm like, dude, Overwatch? He has glasses on his dog. I'm like, seriously? Oh, that like the little heart-shaped glasses because it's Valentine's Day. Anyways, so do you participate in MMO events? Like,
oh yeah,
it's Valentine's Day. Of course, there's Dark Moon Fair. Both the classic came out recently for World of Warcraft, and of course, there's always the retail one that still exists. I'll start with you, Solomon. Do you play and participate in the events you see in the game that are tied to real life holidays and events?
Sorry, real quick. So, if you guys didn't know, that's my impression of Hype the Husky right there. Anyways,
What?
I typed so when every time he gets a follow, he goes, thank you for the follow. I just typed it out.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not watching his stream.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, that's
watch Solomon's stream.
That's primarily not. I shouldn't say primarily the reason why I play MMOs, but that's one of the things that I look forward to the most in MMORPGs is experiencing the events, especially during Halloween. Halloween's one of my favorites in MMOs, and Christmas. Those two specifically stand out, but sometimes you'll get Valentine's, sometimes you'll get like a summer vacation, like a event, like during like a summer beach event, stuff like that. And yeah, it's a lot of fun because they're generally going to implement a lot of events, a lot of things that you could grind for, exclusive, skins that you can't get other than in that one-time event. You know what I mean? And you get to show off to all the newer players who weren't there for that, 2016 summer event or something like that.
Fashion show?
Hey, it's exclusivity and showing off the stuff that you got that other people don't have. That's one of the reasons why people play MMOs, I would argue. Showing off that shiny title or that mount.
What about you, Jaziel?
I do all of the in-game holidays in World of Warcraft.
Okay. I know you got me into it. That was cool. But so you do it all the time.
I do all of them. Yeah. pretty much for everything about them, including any mounts or pets or transmog that you can get out of it, as well as the achievements. And it's just kind of cool to do them, to break up the monotony of all the dailies and
Yeah, good point.
dungeon grinds and raiding and all that other stuff. It's just something fun to do, and like I said, you do get things out of it, so
Yeah.
it's kind of nice.
I mean, I think playing the World of Warcraft back in the day, I did jump into it, but not mostly. And it wasn't until recently when you took me to the Dark Moon Fair, I'm like, whoa, this is kind of cool. Especially nowadays in retail, where it's like roller coasters and a band and other things. Like, I don't recall the Dark Moon Fair being all that fun in the past. And now that Classic has rolled it out, people can see what the Classic one was like and go relive their moments.
Oh yeah.
I always avoided. I was like, I don't care. I mean, yeah, I did Overwatch a couple years ago. I did the Halloween event because it was like, that's kind of cool.
Right.
It was like a dungeon, like a what's it called, dungeon protection type thing. I don't know, but I never got into the whole idea of doing all those events in these games. Like I got other things to do, but they are fun. I mean, it's nice to know that people are taking advantage of it.
You know what's funny? This goes off on a tangent a little bit, but and I'm very open about this, but there was a period of time where my entire identity was wrapped in the MMOs that I would play, and so it was a very depressing time for me. And I remember there was a moment in my life where I was playing the original Guild Wars, and they finally decorated the entire maps for the Christmas event, and I remember thinking to myself, man, this is the most happiest day of my life this year. And then I thought, man, that is so sad. That is so sad. I was like, wow, this is the highlight of the year, is this event in Guild Wars. And it's just like, man, I gotta get out more. Anyways, yeah,
that's cool. All right, Jaziel, anyone more to add to this?
No.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, they always do these things, and apparently enough people do them. Otherwise, the devs wouldn't bother with them. So,
right.
like I said, watching Solomon's recent YouTube video,
It's a
talking
podcast
about the Valentine's Day podcast. Okay,
yeah.
I thought was kind of cool. Like, oh wait, what Valentine's? Okay, today is Valentine's Day, so why not? What's kind of funny is that in the whole discussion about Destiny 2, no, sorry, not Destiny 2, Anthem, and what BioWare is going to do to update that. By the way, it's not an MMO, so I mean, well, it's MMO Light.
Yeah, MMO Light's a good word. Yeah,
but they still have their Christmas decorations.
Oh yeah,
in February, but they said that's okay because they extended the event to the end of February, and people are like, yeah, right. Of course, now there's a whole new story. Anthem is like, well, we're going to revamp it. It'd be a 2.0 or whatever. So
yeah,
watch out. BioWare is going to redo Anthem. So anyway, so that was kind of cool. So the next topic I thought would be interesting to do is I'm going to flip it around. What's the worst MMO you have ever played? Jaziel, what is the worst MMO you have played? You got it, you played it, and you're like, ugh, oh my word.
See, the problem with this is that I used to beta test a lot of games, and there were some real stinkers.
Damn.
And I can say most of them were kind of Lord of the Rings, World of Warcraft, EverQuest ripoffs. There was a game called Horizons that I beta tested, and it somehow made it to release, and within 6 months the servers were all shut down.
Ouch.
That's how few people played it after release. So that's probably gonna be it, and I would not be at all surprised if nobody here ever heard of that game.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. I've not heard of it.
I've heard of it.
It was way back, I would say like 2000, 2001, well, probably more like 2001.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Then I didn't hear of it. I'm thinking of another game then.
Yeah. But as far as like the optimization was just bad, and the graphics were not great. The questing was super confusing and didn't make any sense. Crafting was horrible, and it was just awful. Obviously, it's no longer.
There's a Reddit post. It's like, oh, did anybody 2 years ago? Has anybody played Horizons? And someone like, oh, never played it, but I saw a friend of mine do the beta.
Yeah, that was
that. Oh my goodness, Zazio, you having doing beta saw some of the worst ones because they never got to see the light of the day in some respects,
right?
Which is good, but Horizons you say actually got released and then basically crashed and burned.
I mean, there were quite a few. I just don't remember their names, and I don't want to sit here going for the next 20 minutes.
No,
there were some. I do remember there was a Chinese game that I had played that was a interesting. I almost think it was supposed to be adult themed. Yeah, it was very interesting, and you could only be female characters, and they were all like little furries. They all had like bunny ears,
wow,
and tails, and
yeah.
And
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Should I Google this?
Solomon, it's called Terra Online.
I know it's called.
Well, now from what I saw of your video yesterday, yes.
Might as well be.
Kind of went there.
Yeah, might as well be. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, and what also made that a bad experience for me is it was all in Chinese, and I obviously, as a Northwestern European, I have no idea how to read Chinese.
You don't speak Mandarin? Oh, come on.
No, I wish I did though, because
or Cantonese. Yeah.
At least I look like I know how to speak it.
Right. We're gonna assume that. Yeah. All right. So Solomon, what was the worst MMO? So Jajo can think about this while you're talking about more answers. But what was the worst MMO you played?
I think this is pretty easy. Bless Online.
Oh,
Bless Online. I've heard.
Yeah.
Played it.
It went down in history as one of the worst MMOs like ever created in recent years. Like when you mention Bless Online, like you feel the vitriol and the hate like just boiling through like your computer screen. It's insane how much people this game. But what's funny though is that they're making like a part 2 called Bless Unleashed, because I think whoever the parent company is, I think it's like Sega or whoever, I can't remember. They're really trying to salvage it, like, because it's just been the first one has been such a huge disaster, and I actually really want to play Bless Unleashed. Like, I'm really looking forward to it, and it's going to be released, but only for the Xbox so far, at the end of March, which I'm kind of disappointed, but hopefully we'll get the PC variation soon. But yeah, Bless, like if you bring up Bless Online, people are just like, you could feel the sigh in the air across the internet.
Well, that's weird because I mean I remember hearing about it, but I never played it. But I didn't realize it was. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But other than that, like, I think I would put, and I'm only mentioning this because I covered it in today's episode, but Anarchy Online, like, but only the release.
Okay. Because
Anarchy Online, like, to my amazement, that game is still up after all these years. That game came out like in 2001, I think, and it's still up. And it's just, it had one of the most disastrous launches. But then again, MMORPGs were pretty new back then, so it's kind of understandable. But yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's the worst MMORPG now, even though it's been extremely dated. But yeah, I remember playing that game. It was really bad. Like couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I haven't played as many games as you guys have, right? But I mean, I remember one of the games I bought in the box. Okay, was Shadowbane. I don't remember much about it. All I know is I remember that I got it, I played it. I didn't play much of it. I still have the box, still at my house here, okay, but mean, I played Dark Age of Camelot. I played Warhammer 40K. The one game that had the most bad taste in my mouth was only because Arcade, because of the land rush.
Oh,
I know that Arcade. Well, they did a like Arcade Unleash.
Yeah,
You know,
Unchained.
now that Tryon Worlds has sold it to Gamiko and whatnot. Of course, even though Arcade actually was developed by a Korean developer, who, by the way, just got bought out by another Korean developer. But Shadowbane is just, I remember the graphics being so good, or at least the box cover, and I started playing it, and didn't really hit me. I'm like, I don't remember it. That's how bad I think I don't like about it. But I didn't beta test like Sir Jaziel, so I didn't get a chance to actually try the terrible games. Jaziel.
Can we also put Hello Kitty Online?
Hello Kitty Online.
That's always going to be our meme.
Mean, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
I was curious if you had another one on your list now. To think about it for a little bit.
A couple of names have rushed back to me, and then I was looking on this Reddit post to see if anything else, and there is a game on here someone had posted that I remember. It was pretty awful. It was another Chinese game called Revelation Online.
Oh, wait,
yeah,
familiar.
It was bad. And then don't laugh, but I had this friend who I used to play Minecraft with, and someone was working on a My Little Pony MMO.
There was really,
and I have never forgiven her for that, and we have not played any games together since then.
Pony.
Well, at least you said her. You know, I mean, you said
no, it was her.
Legend of Equestria.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
Or is it Friendship is Magic?
No,
I don't know.
It was like Legends of Equestria or something like that. It was awful.
Well, this one still exists, eh? But
is it still? Oh wow, that's too bad.
Well, it says it's free online, but I'm not sure. Could be an old web page. You know how web pages last forever. Internet lasts forever, but Brony shut down their My Little Pony MMO.
They actually used the term Brony.
Oh wow.
That's what the Kotaku.
Yeah, no, that's the correct term.
No, it is. It's just funny.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of games that have tried to come out. I mean, I know they're looking at Stargate MMO. Never happened. There was a Matrix.
Oh, that's
MMO.
right.
I was looking forward to that one.
That's
I love Stargate SG-1, the show, and it never happened. Like, okay.
I remember that.
I mean, I played games that I thought were going to be really good and might last a long time. The Warhammer 40K one that was done by Mythic, but it didn't last very well. I'm like, oh. And mostly, the biggest thing for me is that what always took me away from games isn't because of me. It's the people I'm playing with, my friends and family. They go, well, I'm upstairs now. Like, wait, what? Where'd you go? Well, this one is not very good. I'm going somewhere else. I'm like, I'm enjoying it. Okay, crap. My friends have gone.
Right.
So,
I mean, I was trying to, like, there's games that I think I didn't give a fair shake because I wasn't having fun because my friends weren't playing. And so I tried to, like, step back and go, okay, well, I would have added this one and that one to the list, but I mean, to be fair, it wasn't really the game, but the ones I mentioned were the game. Even if I had 100 friends playing that My Little Pony game, it would have been awful.
I'd play it for the lulz.
There was a game it was a game a long time ago. I trying to remember what it is. My kids it was like a kids game. It was like an educational game. This back in dial-up time, like a venture or I think. Oh my goodness! I gotta ask my kids that question.
Can you express how the sounds went in dial-up?
Man, if you didn't hear that, you knew you had to redial. Okay. Oh my goodness! Right.
Well, sometimes when you heard that, it would still disconnect, and you'd have to reconnect.
And you're like, man, going from that to what was it first? DSL? Ooh.
Yeah,
it was like light years better, dude.
I know. All right, so having talked about the worst, what's the best MMO you ever played?
Oh goodness. I haven't played it yet.
Haven't played it yet?
I haven't played it yet.
That's not a good time to answer.
It's too bad that I couldn't just take the best parts of.
No, that's true.
Because there's like 3 games that just instantly come to mind that I would like to take the best parts of each of those games.
Yeah.
And make something with it. And that would be for me. At the bottom would be Guild Wars 2. Because I just love how they get you to explore their world.
Right. Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so easy and so rewarding and so fun to just do that. As you explore the world, you're not even paying it. I never paid attention to what gear I was getting, or enough to okay, this piece is better or whatever, this weapon's better, and so I put that on. But I didn't feel like I was ever. It didn't feel grindy to me ever. And I felt like when I was roaming around, like I just did it at my own pace, and it never felt, like I said, it never felt grindy to me, and I loved that aspect of it. And there was nothing.
That's the way it should be, right? I mean, that's a true good grindy game that doesn't feel grindy.
But I mean, as far as world exploration, I think they do it best, even though I put them at the bottom of my list of 3. I mean, that's the game that I can still today hop on and I just roam around, and just as I'm roaming around, I'm finding little world events taking place, popping up, and I just join in and help do whatever it is that that little area requires of you. They're like little quests that pop up around the world, and you don't need to join a group. You don't need to be in a guild or anything. You go in there and you pop a couple arrows in their face or whatever weapon that you have or magic spells you're using, and you get rewarded for it, and it's just fun. Now above the tie, there's a tie for number 1, because I love World of Warcraft, but Elder Scrolls Online I have just as much of a love for. I've always loved the Elder Scrolls games before online came out, especially Skyrim. I mean, that's kind of a duh thing, I think, for everybody at this point. But I played all the games prior to that, and I just loved the lore, and I loved every one of the games, honestly. And so if I could just like take those 3 and mix them all together and do something, maybe. I don't know. I'm hearing some really cool stuff. Again, I believe it's Amazon's going to put this one out as well.
Lord of the Rings one?
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings. Yeah. It's sounding a lot like it's kind of going to be taking different, the best of those 3 games I just mentioned, and it's Lord of the Rings. So, I mean, I wish. I played that game as well, the original Lord of the Rings online, and I just couldn't do it, man.
I know my son ended up dropping first before I did, but we played together a little bit of the original Lord. It's still out there. I mean, they're still putting content out, but I haven't played it in years.
That's true.
Yeah, but this new one, I've got my fingers crossed.
All right, so Jazil says Elder Scrolls Online. Solomon said, what? Do we actually get or not?
No, I said I haven't played the perfect or the best MMO
Oh, that's
yet.
right, yeah. So I'm when I think about all the games I played, I mean, obviously nostalgia points me back to Archage of Camelot, my first one. But I agree, ESO. I mean, Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I remember the beta being so excited. I mean, I literally in our WoW guild, we're talking about we're gonna stop playing WoW. We're all gonna jump to SWTOR. We're gonna pull the whole guild over. And I played the beta. I was excited about playing it. And it came out in December. I started playing it. And then within a month, people are like, moved on. And then wait. where'd the rest of the guild come? Well, it's too graphic intensive. Can't play on my computer, so I stay with WoW. I'm like, what the? And it's like, but Elder Scrolls Online has what I want. Like you said, jumping into a game and just playing it. You can explore. And the way, I know you don't have to do tab targeting, but I like the whole ESO flavor, even though I have not played it in a couple of years now. So, oh well.
Yeah, the games that I've played so far, well, they're vastly different from your guys's. I sunk multiple years in Aeon, for the first Guild Wars game, Tabula Rasa.
Didn't play that.
I feel like I'm missing one. I mean, obviously Star Wars Old Republic, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I don't know. I just the best MMO I played. That's a very hard question to ask. I really never really thought about that.
Well, I like what Jaziel said, is that, or even you said that, it hasn't come out yet. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a reason why I kickstarted like 5 or 6 different MMOs. Because, like, I mean, I kickstarted Mark Jacobs for Kemon and Chain because it's Mark Jacobs, okay? RVR, I loved it, okay? So let's do back again.
Yeah.
Camelot, Crowfall, because you can do the whole instance and doing the RVR, the PvP, but then also be able to build your own castle. I mean, Ashes of Creation has their thing. So what is that one game that has everything I want?
Star Citizen.
Oh, we need to stop mentioning that. It just breaks my heart, man. I've got money tied up in that game, dude.
No, so do I. So do I. I was. Not only did I buy the pre-packages, I actually did the monthly subscription for a year.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Like that's how much I wanted this game. Like, you know, I mean, and I still do. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's. Anyways, that's another rabbit hole we could talk about another time.
Yeah, we'll get it. It's just...
Yeah, we'll get it. But yeah,
it's gonna be good when it comes out finally.
So I'm reading Jazoom. I will have to run into more podcasts. You guys have great ideas, like My Little Pony MMO.
Oh my god!
I know, right? Just imagine going to your friend list where you bronies run.
Do you? No, actually, I probably shouldn't. Never mind.
I'm not sure to say if you're raising your kid right or wrong here. Okay.
Well, he never really, like, I tried to get him or into World of Warcraft, but oh geez, what was that? Like 5-6 years ago? But he just, it was too difficult for, you know, like I said, he's going to be 12 here in a couple months, but he was so young, he just couldn't grasp because it is pretty complicated.
It can be, yeah.
After that, I had, again, another shout out to Guild Wars 2. I downloaded that onto his laptop and had him play that, and that was a lot easier for him. He was able to hop right in and start playing, and I think the only reason he's stopped playing that is because Fortnite came out, but...
Of course.
Fair enough.
Right. But I mean, we were talking earlier today. He was asking what New World was, and I told him it, you know, was coming out by Amazon Studios, and showed him the little clip of the game, and as well as someone that was given news on it. I can't remember what channel it was on, but one of the MMO channels. And he was like, wow, that looks really cool. I wouldn't mind paying or playing that, but how much is it going to cost? Because I think he would play World of Warcraft with me, but I don't have another $15 a month.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yep. Especially if he's not going to play it that much. It's like, oh, no. But that game, New World, is supposed to be, you just buy to play. You pay them the
Oh,
40. Well, I think
yeah.
the introduction.
The right.
I think the standard version is $40 or $39.99 or whatever. And I would rather do that and then not have to pay a subscription afterwards. But that does make me think that they're probably going to have like an in-game store with cosmetics and stuff in it. Which, if it's just cosmetic stuff, I'm okay with that.
Me too. I mean, it's buy to play, then no. The thing is, I mean, I'm so used to buying a game and paying a subscription. Dark Age of Camelot was like $60, buy the game. World of Warcraft, buy the game and still a subscription. So I've been around long enough. So if they're gonna pay me say $40 for, I see right now on Amazon, $40 for a new world, and if there's a subscription to it, so be it. I mean, I'm used to it. But now, if they want to make money off of cosmetics, then great, no problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, the ESO has you can get the pro account. I think it's $10 a month or something like that, and you can do that, and they reward you for doing that. They give you like the gems and all kinds of. You get like a mount every month and all kinds of different goodies, unlimited storage, and it's pretty awesome. But if you want to pay or not pay, you just want to buy the game and play it for free, you can absolutely do that. And I know a lot of people that do it that way. They just buy the expansions and whatnot with the gems that they collect over time, and they claim there's a couple of the people in God's gamers, I think, that's what they're called.
Okay. Yeah.
That some of them as
it's
well.
A bunch of ESO, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that they claim to me that they've never done the subscription at all, and they've got all the bag slots and everything. So, and then Guild Wars 2 also had where you could buy, like, they didn't offer a subscription at all. You would just buy the expansion, whatever the latest expansion was, and that's all you had to buy.
Right.
But you could purchase there's tons and tons of transmog stuff, but there's also, like, you could buy more bag slots if you wanted to, more bank spaces if you wanted to. You could buy extra materials and whatnot for trade skills, and as well as tools that helped you, like, mine stuff quicker or get materials quicker for your trade skills, which I was okay with that. But there was nothing in there that was like pay to win or gotcha kind of mechanics. Again, that's why those two games are up there on the top of my list, because they are not necessarily a subscription fee.
Right.
The one exclusively does not have a subscription fee. It's just buy to play, and they're still able to make a profit and continue putting out great new content all the time.
Yeah, so that was the big breakthrough when Guild Wars came out. Like, wait, what?
Yeah,
it's a game you buy, which was like all the other games, and no subscription. Like, what? So I did play Guild Wars 1, but didn't long last me. Okay, so then I got Guild Wars 2 later on. Again, that's just me. Like Final Fantasy 14, my son and his friends just love it, and I've heard really great things about it, and they say it's one of the best games ever, and the way that Square Enix takes care of it is really good. Their whole model for it is really good, but I just don't like it. It's just not my cup of tea. Elder Scrolls Online is more my cup of tea. Music, gameplay, the whole overall look.
I almost wonder, though, if there's been games in the past where, especially MMOs, the first, I want to say, month or two of playing the game really wasn't the exciting part of the game. And I almost wonder if maybe we just didn't give enough time to Final Fantasy. We didn't get high enough level or whatever to where there's a certain level or whatever amount of power where now the game's fun.
Yep, I agree.
I'm like you, man. I've tried it. I've downloaded it 4 times now.
Wow.
and ended up and deleted it. And I did it the 4th time too. I deleted it. It's not on my hard drive right now. I really wanted to try Shadowbringers because, man, it was rated really high on Metacritic.
Oh yeah.
And like you said, your kids love it. Every friend that I have in our communities that we're involved in has loved the story and the gameplay, and they're just like, dude, you don't know what you're missing. This is awesome. This is way better than WoW. And I just keep going. I didn't.
Yeah.
But it does make me want to try again. But I know I'll just delete it again.
Every time I've done that, every time I like, then it doesn't. Yeah, no. Yeah.
It's almost like. It's almost like a thing where I'm like, okay, the summer's coming up. The kids will be out of school. I'll have a little bit more time to, I won't be driving them to their school things or to school and whatnot. Maybe I could just try it again, give it over the summer, get leveled up, just, try to push through that boring part, which was the whole thing for me. I think I got up to level 30 or something, and the whole thing was just, ugh.
Well, at least
too much text to read, and
at least you played it post Reborn. I played pre Reborn when it was arguably
14?
worse. Yeah.
14, not 11.
No, 14. Yeah. Pre Reborn. Yeah. That was.
They said, hey, you guys don't want to jump because we know better than you.
Yeah. That version. Yeah. It was a hype of trash, and I'm like. But I've said this multiple times. I regret not giving him a second chance because I really feel like I missed out. And so, I'm pretty sure I would like it now. But for me, it's like I'm one of those players that love playing an MMO when it first comes out, or relatively early when it first comes out. I don't know why. That's just the way I am. There's few exceptions, obviously, like Black Desert Online, but. Yeah, that ship has sailed, unfortunately. I'm just going to wait for Final Fantasy 15 or 16, and hopefully that'll be good.
15's already out. So you mean 16 then?
Oh, that's right. Completely forgot about 15.
Right.
Oh, that's
funny. And having just said
the
the summer idea, that's not going to happen because I have my eyes set on New World.
Well, what else is coming out? I mean, May 26th is New World. What else is coming out?
Look at this. Final Fantasy 15, PlayStation 4. Still sealed. Factory sealed. Never opened it.
Solomon!
And this is the deluxe edition, too. I completely forgot about this.
Well, we know what he's doing next couple days. What else is coming out besides New World?
I should know this. Put dates out yet?
All of you watching this stream, okay, or on YouTube, May 26th, New World. Three of us are going to play it. You can join us too. Okay, we'll put some out from feelers out and some information out and some postings out. Okay, so you'll join us for this launch. We'll do the excitement we did for WoW Classic. Well, except for Solomon, he didn't.
You were really excited for that. It was almost cute.
almost cute. Okay, whatever.
Because they're like, oh, it's out. I was like, oh, Ken.
Another one just came to mind, but I do not see a release date here yet. But they're saying it's definitely coming out this year. Magic Legends MMO.
Oh, I've heard that.
Oh, did they?
Oh, yeah. Year? It says it's coming out this year.
Well,
but there's no date yet, and I've
kickstarted. Camelot Unchained might be this year. Cripple might be this year. As a creation, in all these games are might
be this year. Yeah, that's true.
Last Oasis, I was kind of interested in, but I don't know.
Blade and Soul is getting a graphical update. Came out in Korea, I think, yesterday or today.
Well,
so hopefully,
Zoom's getting for his birthday.
I'm jumping back for sure once we get our graphical update as well for Blade and Soul.
Oh, Blade and Soul. That's the other game. No, not Blade and Soul. I'm thinking of BDO.
I would. So you know how kind of, for lack of a better term, cringy it was to play Terra when you know the episode that it came out. I would actually put Blade and Soul on that list too. Not because they have their own little Ellen tunes, although they do, but a lot of the costumes in that game is super, super scandalous.
Yeah.
And I would know because I admittedly have some. Yeah.
Yeah, it was they had some interesting costume choices.
Interesting, yeah.
I did like Blade and Soul though. It was pretty fun.
It was, yeah.
I did delete it. It's not on my hard drive now.
Yeah, me too. But
But I
yeah.
had fun while I was playing it.
Anyway, so May 26th, okay, we talked about playing a free-to-play MMO. We haven't found one yet. We want to do that with the community, with whoever's watching, either on Twitch or YouTube. But May 26th, put on your calendars, we're going to play New World. Now, none of us have pre-ordered it yet, so we are being cautious, but we will be playing it on May 26th. So watch out for that. May 26th is what day of the week is that?
It's probably a Thursday.
I just looked at it, and my brain doesn't.
Tuesday.
Dang it.
Which is what our classic did. So we'll figure out the times. We'll figure out when we're going to do this, and we'll do this game, okay? Because Amazon has the money, the deep pockets, more than Kickstartering like Camelot Unchained or Crowfall or Ashes of Creation. So we'll see how it goes. And you're listening, so hopefully it'll be good stuff.
Hopefully.
All right, so I'm okay with doing an after show, but is there anything else you guys want to add to this show? The part that Solomon can then post on YouTube. Anything you want to add?
I did see. We mentioned it earlier, so I was going to say it, and then we moved on. About the Lord of the Rings MMO.
Right. Amazon. Is there
it's the publisher's Amazon, but it's actually being developed by Athlon Games.
Okay.
Which, if you don't know, that includes a lot of devs and other people who are involved with EverQuest, World of Warcraft, and Destiny, the original Destiny.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Wait, original Destiny?
These are
all Bungie. I mean,
these are some all the people, veteran developers that know their stuff. So that's another reason why, I kind of got my start as far as graphical MMOs in EverQuest. I played Meridian 59. I've mentioned that several times on every podcast we've done so far. I think I've mentioned that. But EverQuest was the first graphic MMO. So I know the other half of the EverQuest team is gone. Well, I think they're still developing Pantheon. That's another game that they keep saying next year.
Pantheon is dead.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever coming out, honestly.
I thought I read somewhere that Pantheon was dead, but I don't know. Maybe
the last I heard, it's not dead, but they lost a lot of people. And they're losing interest because they keep saying it's next year we're going to start beta test, and they've been doing that for like 4 or 5 years now. So it's going to be really hard for them to pull anyone on board at this point.
Just real quick, you mentioned Crowfall earlier, and they released a dev blog as well. I didn't watch all of it, but if you're interested, because I know you're a Kickstarter, so if you're interested, you could definitely check that out.
Yeah, I read some of their stuff, and I saw what they're doing recently. It sounds pretty cool, but I'm still waiting for the final game. I've downloaded the client, and I've actually jumped in the game several times, and it was not done yet. I'm like, well, I'm more of the fact that I have limited time. I need to focus myself, so I'll wait.
Fair enough.
There's too many of these other games that are just more interesting to me. And Crowfall is another one that I'm just like, that's gone. I'm done.
Well, Crowfall for me was I can build my own castle,
right,
in my own little world. People can visit me, so what they want. Because Fallout 4, you can build all you want, but no one can visit you. Which is why Fallout 76 was so cool. It took Crash and Burned, and so Crowfall was like, you can build this. And the other thing was that they would have these shards or these instances that basically would reset every 30, 60, 90, 6 months. So no one faction or no one guild can dominate and just hold on to it from year to year to year. It would reset, and so you can redo it. It's like, okay, great, perfect.
Yeah, I like that idea, but I think there's too many other games that are more interesting.
Well, it's interesting. The time I started, there wasn't other ones out there. Now,
Right.
after that time, there was Ashes of Creation and others. So yeah, they're a little bit. They are a little bit behind in their development schedule.
I actually see there's they posted something here for Ashes of Creation on January 30th. Oh no, never mind. That's 2019. I read that wrong. So never mind. I was going to read it for everybody, but that's over a year old.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're the ones that came out with the battle royale to test out their combat systems. I don't think I have a problem with, but the community got all upset with them. Whatever, okay. Same with the whole Camelot Unchained getting upset with whatever, guys. Okay, so as long as you get your game, that's fine.
I mean, you want to get what you paid for.
I know. That's yeah. All right, that's it for our show tonight. So we can still do some after stuff, but thank you for hanging out with us, and that allows for Solomon to trim the video to where it needs to be. So we'll post it on YouTube. So if you have any questions for us, ask us. We're all on social media, Twitter, on Twitch as well as YouTube. So go ahead and post it, even if you post it down in the chat on YouTube or any other place that we happen to post this video. Let us know what you think. We're always looking forward to grow and to expand and just enjoy this world of MMOs that we know all of you like. Not everyone, but hey, like it too. And that's it.
That's it. All right. Well, I got a little bit left of my vodka cranberry, so cheers to you guys.
Yeah, I'm under my second one now. Okay, I should get cranberry juice.